They call me a ghost. Not because I move silently or disappear without a trace, but because when I show up, someone's life ends. My name is irrelevant, my face forgettable. To my clients, I'm nothing more than a transaction. To my targets, I'm their worst nightmare. I've kept a diary for years, not out of sentimentality, but for control. Each entry is a ledger of lives taken, the who, the why, and the how. At first, it was a way to protect myself, a safety net in case a deal went sideways. But over time, it became something else, an outlet for the parts of me that no one gets to see. Until now. Her name was Lila Barrett, and she wasn't supposed to matter. She was a job, like any other. I was hired to take her out for reasons that didn't concern me. The client claimed she had crossed the wrong people. Maybe she knew too much. Maybe she was just unlucky. I tailed her for days. She was quiet, ordinary, worked in a bookstore, volunteered at a shelter. She wasn't like most of my targets, people with dirty hands or hidden skeletons. She seemed good. On the night I was supposed to kill her, I hesitated. She was sitting on her fire escape, looking up at the stars. For a moment, she seemed to sense me. Her eyes scanned the darkness, but instead of fear, there was something else. Acceptance. I didn't pull the trigger. In my line of work, hesitation is fatal. Sparing Lila wasn't compassion, it was stupidity. The next day, I found a note slipped under the door of my safe house. You're losing your edge. Finish it or we will. I knew what it meant. If I didn't take care of her, someone else would, and then they'd come for me. But when I went back to finish the job, she wasn't there. Her apartment was empty, her belongings gone. She had vanished. For the first time in years, I felt something I thought I'd buried. Doubt. I don't dream often, but when I do, it's always the same. I'm standing in front of a mirror, staring at my own reflection. But the face looking back isn't mine. It's a patchwork of my victims' faces. Pleading, angry, accusing. After Lila disappeared, the dreams got worse. I started seeing her everywhere. In the crowd at a train station, sitting at a cafe, always just out of reach. And then, one day she wasn't. It was a quiet evening when she walked into the diner where I was sitting. She didn't run, didn't hide. She slid into the booth across from me, calm as you please, and smiled. I was wondering how long it would take you to find me, she said. I froze. No one ever willingly confronted me, least of all someone I'd spared. Why are you here? I asked, keeping my voice steady. I want to talk, she said, leaning forward, about why you didn't kill me. Her boldness threw me off. You don't get to ask questions. But I will anyway, she said, because I know the truth about you. My blood ran cold. Lila knew more than I thought possible. She knew about the diary. She knew about my clients. She even knew about my past. Details no one should have had access to. You don't just kill for money, she said. You kill for penance. She was right, though I didn't admit it. My first kill hadn't been for hire. It had been personal. My wife, my daughter, taken from me by a man who thought he was untouchable. The system let him walk free, so I ended him myself. And then I realized the world was full of people like him. People who deserved what the law couldn't give them. Lila's eyes softened as she continued. You think you're cleaning the world, but you're just burying yourself deeper. I clenched my fists. What do you want? To end this? Lila wasn't just some innocent bystander. She had been watching me for months, waiting for the right moment to confront me. I don't want revenge, she said. I want to help you. Help me, I scoffed. You think this is some kind of game? No, she said firmly. But you're not as invisible as you think. Someone hired you to kill me, but they didn't know I'd been tracking them first. You were just the middleman. It turned out Lila had her own reasons for vanishing. The people who wanted her dead were tied to a larger operation, traffickers, politicians, and corrupt officials. She had evidence that could bring them down, but she needed my skills to do it. Work with me, she said, and maybe for once you can make things right. Against my better judgment, I agreed. Together we hunted the people behind her hit order, using my connections and her evidence to dismantle their network piece by piece. It was dangerous, messy work. There were close calls, betrayals, and moments when I questioned why I'd ever trusted her. But for the first time, I felt like my kills meant something more than survival. It's been 6 months since I last wrote in this diary. The operation is over. The people who wanted Lila dead are either behind bars or buried. But now there's no turning back. I can't go back to being a ghost, and Lila can't go back to her quiet life. We're both fugitives, bound together by secrets and blood. I'm burning this diary tonight. Not because I regret what I've done, but because I'm done keeping score. The past doesn't define me anymore. This is the last time I'll sign off as a contract killer. Tomorrow I'll be something else. If you this story intriguing, like and subscribe to our channel. We'll keep bringing you more stories that linger long after the lights go out. Until next time, stay curious.